Hello?
Welcome back for another episode of BarTalk.
BarTalk.
It's me, Abigail. It's my co-host, Tracy.
Hello. The one with the dry legs. That's what I was talking about.
And
look at this. It's fucking gross.
And she has gross legs. She just competed post Atlanta Spartan.
Yeah, we're going to do
2023.
We got 2 recaps to do in the next 2 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah.
One is going to be for her. That's this week because she did it.
Because it's done and over with, thank God.
Mine is tomorrow, so I'm shitting myself right now, but we'll do that one next week.
We'll do your recap. We got to do a full recap when Abigail gets back, though, because she's been gone for a week training.
Yep.
And then she competes, so, and her competition's tomorrow. So we're going to talk about Atlanta a little bit, get the hell out of here so she can get on the road because she's traveling today. We got a lot of shit to do.
Got a lot of shit to do. So, okay, and this will be kind of a cool one for me because I've been training all week, I haven't gotten any recap of how Atlanta went.
Mm-hmm.
Other than it was terrible.
Like, yeah, it was fucking miserable.
Mentally.
But it'd be kind of good because this is going to be a little bit of like I'll pretend like I'm the client. Not really. Yeah. Well, yeah, kind of, because I got to be able to prepare for like my next one. And I definitely fucked up like big time. I fucked up for Saturday. But I don't really know if that's like me fucking up or if that was just like what I've been going through.
Beast super sprint. Y'all didn't do the sprint.
We didn't do the fucking sprint, man. I didn't. So, okay. So this past weekend in Atlanta, it was a trifecta weekend, which means if you're listening to this, you don't know what it is. You do the longer races on Saturday, which is whatever they have that weekend. So it could be a beast, an ultra, whatever. So it was a beast in this case, which is the half marathon. And then on Sunday, you do the 10K in the morning and the 5K in the afternoon. And normally, like, I would never bow out of it. Like, I'm not that type of person. I'll complain until I die, but I'll do it, you know? Mm-hmm. And when we got done on Sunday, like, my knees, it wasn't just like me complaining that they were cold and in pain. Like, my knees were in severe fucking pain because of just the type of terrain that it was, like running on the rocks, running in the mud, the cold on top of it, like from the day before. I was just in a lot of pain. And I looked at Barry and I was like, yo, I'm not doing it. Like,
so backtrack.
Yeah.
We're going
to. So sorry.
She gets to Atlanta.
Rewind.
You get to Atlanta and you're running the Beast, which is a half marathon.
Yeah.
And paint the picture for conditions for the morning and then go through the race and then conditions Sunday morning, go through that race.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing.
Last year when we were here, they didn't have a Beast. They had the 10K and the 5K. So going into the race, we thought that we were going to see some familiar, track and course. And we knew it was going to be hilly. But when we got the map, we realized that it wasn't the same at all. So it was completely new. And this was the first Beast that they ever held. So you went like pretty deep into the woods for it. Mm-hmm. The Beast was super technical, super wet, 30 degrees. It didn't get above 35 the entire time that we raced.
Okay.
Cold,
it was cold.
Wet.
I was in Atlanta during this, so I can confirm it was cold as fuck.
It was cold as fuck. Like, it literally did not get above 35 degrees. The sun was peeking out by the time that we were done because we started the race at 7:45 for the majority of us. But it was cold as shit and all of the water obstacles were open. So the dunk wall was open. There was a waist-high water crossing. They had the barbed wire. They dug out pits and they had a hose in the barbed wire pit. So there was running water in the barbed wire. Like, you didn't have any way around it. You were getting neck high in the barbed wire in water. Not because you were crawling, but literally because you would fall so far into the mud that you were neck high in water. And then at the end, which is like where I really started keeling over, was at the Lime Rock. I mean, like, Atlanta is all red clay, so it's thick, deep mud.
The dunk wall?
What'd you say?
When you got to the dunk wall?
No, I'm just talking like in general. It's like, it's thick clay mud. So like when you're getting in all of this water, it's just packing on your clothes.
Oh, got it.
So you're getting like heavier and heavier and heavier
your
throughout
shoes
the race.
Are heavy and everything.
Your shoes
and then
are
also
heavy. Your clothes are heavy.
Into the ground, you're like, it's like suctioning out.
You're sinking, yeah. And then at the end of the race, you're on this rock because you're on a horse park and it's up in the mountains, and the rock is just this hard, slick boulder. that you're running over for like a mile, and it fucking destroyed my knees. So anyway, on Saturday, we all go out, and it's ice cold, and it was really funny because this one guy that I was with about the whole time, ever since mile 5 where the dunk wall was, I was like, the race has got to be almost over, right? And the dude's like, man, we got like 5 miles left. I'm like, fuck. He's like, we're not even halfway. Like, we're at mile 5. And I was like, fuck. And then like we would go underneath the dunk wall. And then a mile later, I'm like, dude, we got to be almost done, right? And he's like, no, like we're only at mile 7. And I'm like, fuck. Like the whole time I was just whatever. So going into it, like before you get into the corral or whatever, I had to go swimming because I lost my shoe. Because my ultras came off because I don't tie them very tight, right? And it's that thick clay mud. So I'm underneath of the water like before the dunk wall even happens. Mm-hmm. So I'm in the water. I lose my shoe. I get out. I'm crying. I'm just pissed. Like I'm just like pissed that it's cold and pissed that I lost my shoe already. I'm like, whatever. I got to keep moving, right? Then like, I'm trucking. It's not too bad. And I feel fine. And then the dunk wall happens. I have an absolute panic attack.
You always hate the dunk wall. So the cold especially. The elements really test your brain, man.
Dude, like when I tell you full-blown panic attack, like I am hyperventilating. The dunk wall had to be at least 5 or 6 feet deep. I mean, like I was swimming. Like I jumped in there and like my feet weren't touching the ground. I was like swimming. So I'm like in the ground.
It's terrifying.
I'm like hyperventilating. There's all these people standing around. I don't see Mitzi. Barry didn't race because he was hurt. So he didn't race this weekend, which thank God, because it would have been a terrible race for him to try to push through an injury. Mm-hmm. And I don't see them anywhere. And so I start like freaking out. Mm-hmm. And like I'm there for a good couple minutes and I'm freaking the fuck out. And I'm like, what do I do? Like I have to get around this thing somehow. Like what the fuck? So I finally go under. And when I come out, I'm just like totally out of breath. And I see Mitzi like right in front of me. And I'm like, this fucking sucks. I'm at mile 5 out of 14.
Yeah.
And so immediately get out of the dunk wall, miss my spear. Like as soon as I get out of the dunk wall, spear's there. I'd throw it. I'm not even fucking paying attention. I can't feel my hands. I can't see. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I don't even give a shit if this goes into the next city. I'm just fucking throwing it and running the penalty loop. I didn't even fucking care. Mm-hmm. So I literally throw it, run the penalty loop. Mitzi's following me. I throw my gloves. I had a Ziploc bag with another pair of gloves in it, another junk band. So I took my head thing off, put on a different junk band, put my number back on, switched my pair of gloves, got the rope, and I was out. And then there's like all these different rolling hills that are up there. And it's like, it's not a you go up and come down, you go up and come down. It's a you go up, down a little bit, up higher, down a little bit, up higher, right? So after about like the 5th fucking up, you come all the way down.
Yep.
And I literally, shit you not, I come all the way down this hill and we're like mile 7. And I actually, for like the first time ever, completely stopped. Like I came crashing down this fucking hill. I was like, I couldn't feel my legs. I couldn't feel my hands. I can hear my heartbeat in my fingertips because of how cold I was. I get down to the bottom of the hill and I just fucking stand there and like stare at the sky. And I was like, I'm done. I was like, I'm fucking done. I start crying. Mm-hmm. The guy like that's been running with me the whole time, he's like, yo, you good? I was like, yeah, I'm good. I just need like 10 seconds. I was like, I just can't even think. Mm-hmm. Like I was incoherent as fuck. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. And I start like crying. I'm like, this fucking sucks. So anyway, I keep running. I'm like kind of ahead, but at this point, like where I was at, I knew that if I stayed where I was at, I was going to be in second place. So I was like, I just have to keep moving. Like if I keep this pace, I'm going to stay in second because I had already passed the girl that was behind me by a fair amount. And the girl that was in front of me, once I took that like 10-second stop, she was gone. I was like, there's just no way, you know? Like, there's just no way. So if I kept that pace, I'd be at, in second place. But that's where I kind of realized that, like,
God damn it, Tracy.
Sorry. My, like, nutrition, man,
was
like,
bad.
just the exhaustion that I felt. I've never in my life, like, got to a point where I was so exhausted that, like, I couldn't eat. I couldn't drink. I couldn't fucking muscle down any water. I couldn't muscle down any of my goos. I couldn't, like... I just had no energy, zero, none. Like I couldn't even walk. So I was like, all right, whatever. So anyway, tracking out to the end of the race. I'm like on the back quarter. And this is really funny. I'm going to tell you this. So obviously I'm dogging it. I'm like not doing the best. I'm at mile like 11.
Okay. So you're almost done.
I'm at mile 11. So we're tracking all the way forward. And I can't feel my fingers. So I'm failing a bunch of shit that I don't normally fail. Okay. Like twister, bender, stairway to Sparta, fucking everything. Like you're grabbing onto shit and it's just like not happening. Like the grip is just
no dexterity in your fingers.
Yeah, like it just literally felt like you were wearing tube socks on your hands and like you just couldn't do anything. Yeah. So like I was trying so fucking hard and you just like could not get a grip. So I'm failing everything. I'm running every penalty loop. I'm fucking like, dogging it. And out of the corner of my eye, I'm finishing the penalty loop to go on to mile 12. And I'm at the stairway to Sparta and Alana is running up. So Alana catches up to me, right? And so now Alana is like right fucking behind me. And I'm like, I like see her come out and I'm like excited for her because she's in the front and I can tell that she's in the front. And so now I start crying again because I'm like emotional as fuck. I'm happy. I'm like, oh my God, Alana's fucking killing it.
Alana is one of the Flow CR athletes, by the way.
So she's like right behind me, okay, like minutes. And like, love you, Alana, but I'd never let you beat my ass. So I was like, I gotta hurry up, because I'm like, now I'm really fucking, I'm like, fuck. So I gotta like,
go.
I was like happy that she was behind me, obviously. And I'm like crying in joy. I literally cried the rest of the way. But I was like, this bitch, man. I'm like, I gotta go.
But also fuck you.
Yeah. I was like, God damn it, Alana. So I'm like booking it. So anyway, we get down, you see the mile 13 mark, and I'm like, fastest fucking mile I've ever ran in my whole life.
Yeah.
Like, mile time trial, faster than that. Like, I needed to get the fuck off of this course.
Yes.
And I know that Alana's behind me. So you come through this water and you come up this tunnel and you see like everybody's standing there. And there's 3 obstacles left. There's the vertical cargo, there's the Hercules hoist, and there's the A-frame. And I am so cold that I'm trying to talk to Mitzi and Barry that are standing there. And it looks like I'm having a fucking stroke.
You can't.
Because your mouth is like, you're spitting. And there's just like shit coming out of your nose. And like, I'm trying to talk to Mitzi and them and nothing is coming out. And so I didn't give a shit really about me. I'm just trying to get done. I was more excited that Alana was right behind me. So the whole time when they saw me come out of the tunnel, I'm trying to get them to pay attention to Alana, which is like, she's got to be right behind me, right? So I'm like going over the A-frame and Mitzi's standing underneath, or the vertical cargo, I'm sorry. And Mitzi's standing underneath of me and she's taking pictures and she's like, come on, Trey. And I'm like, Alana, like Alana. And she's like not hearing me. And I'm like, I literally look like I'm having a fucking stroke. And so then I'm like running it, right? I go over to the Hercules hoist. I'm barely fucking pulling this thing. And while I'm pulling it, I'm looking at her standing on the side and I'm like, Alana is behind me. Fucking doesn't answer. I'm talking like this is a big stretch. This is like, 600 to 800 meters stretch. Yeah. So she's still fucking following me. I get to the A-frame. She's underneath of it. She's like, come on, coach. And I'm like, Mitzi, Alana, right? And as soon as I swear to God, as soon as I take a foot off onto the ground off of the A-frame, I literally hear Mitzi. She goes, oh my God, it's Alana. She's over at the vertical cargo. And I literally was like, fuck you, bitch. I'm like fucking running. So she literally like sees that I'm pissed off. I'm like shaking my head. The picture of me going over the fires, like my head is just on the ground. And oh my God, I told her I was so mad at her when I was done. Because I was like the whole fucking time, I looked like such a dumbass trying to get attention. But
you placed second.
Yeah, but I ended up placing second.
Alana placed first.
Yeah, Alana got first.
Which was incredible.
Yep. And then I don't know who came behind her, and then Savannah got third.
Yeah, so that's awesome.
Yeah, so it ended up being okay. Yeah,
the races like that, they test your mind, I think, more than your physicality, for sure. Yeah, it sucked. The elements are brutal. Like, that's the one thing that I love about jiu-jitsu is it's inside.
It's inside. And I'll tell you what, like, so, and I felt really bad just for everybody because one, like, you're in race mode. So race brain is like a real thing. Like, you're not paying attention to where you're going. Yeah. You're not paying attention to a lot of things. And there was a shit ton of races going on. So you have the beast the sprint also happened on Saturday because they wanted people to separate in case they wanted to get it done. So you had a beast course, you had a sprint course, you had a trail course, you had a 50 on 50 course, and a super. And all of them are marked. So people were going the wrong direction everywhere. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, you're not paying attention. There's tape
you're just running.
all over. You're just fucking running. Jonathan Stern, who is one of our Flow CR people that now is like in Grit Fitness in Texas, he got second place in Elite, but he got sidetracked over like almost a mile. He ran out like half a mile and was on the wrong course. And they found him and brought him back. And he ended up getting second somehow because he's a badass. But yeah, he got off course. Sunday during the super, I'm running the back half of the super and Rich is running towards me. I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, where are you going? And he's like, I don't know. I missed the timing mat. He missed like 3 obstacles in a timing mat somehow. He ended up on the beast course from the day before because they never took up the tape.
Oh, shit.
And he was just running. And so he had to backtrack and go get his time pad because he would have been DQ'd and never would have got a time.
Yeah.
So he actually finished with Alana. He didn't finish. He was out when, because he was so far behind.
Yeah.
He didn't have time to catch up. But he actually backtracked, saw me, backtracked all the way, ended up catching with Alana, and ended up with her in Savannah. So it was a fucking mess. I mean, like, it's cold. On top of that, you're not thinking. Like, it was a mess. So that was Saturday. And then Sunday was a much better race for me. I mean, like, I got back on Saturday and I just, like, ate everything that I could because I was like, I can't even think because I was super, like, malnourished. Like, I was just so spacey. I just felt really, really off. And so I was just eating whatever I could get my hands on. And on Sunday, it was a much better race, but girl fucking beat me by 40 seconds, man. It was so devastating. I was like, I mean, I'm really, happy that race happened the way it did because we were yo-yoing the whole time. So like we were coming back and forth. And I got all the obstacles except for this spear. I still couldn't feel shit. It was so cold. It was 29 degrees. I had 2 pairs of gloves on. I had hand warmers in each hand. I had 2 junk bands, my band and a beanie. I ran in a beanie. Mm-hmm. I wore 2 thermal shirts. Mm-hmm. I wore 2 pairs of socks and a pair of pants. So I had 2 of everything on. And they closed the dunk wall because it was so cold. Mm-hmm. But just kidding. You still have to go through the fucking water.
Yep.
You still have to go in neck-high deep mud in the barbed wire crawl. Mm-hmm. And it was colder, 10 degrees colder than the day before.
Yep.
So everything was just sticking to you.
It's freezing.
So, like, my 135-pound ass was now, like, 150 pounds trying to run this race. And I was, like, just covered in shit. So, I mean, I felt good, though, on Sunday. And the girl that I was yo-yoing with the whole time, just at the end, it was, like, that last couple obstacles, the cargos and the Hercules hoist. And she came through the tunnel and she hit the cargo first. And I was trying everything I can, but I swear to God, it was, like, slow motion. Like, I just could not fucking... could not move anymore.
Yeah.
Like, what I had is what I had, and I tried my best, but she got me by fucking 40 seconds, which was such ass. I mean, such ass. It's like, damn. But it was good. It was a fun time. Not really. I never want to do it ever again, but it was a fun time.
You will, though. What would you say? So you said your nutrition was probably your worst part?
Yeah, like, sorry, dudes, but I was getting my period. And so, like, the whole week last week, I was off. Just, like, eating.
Yeah.
Wise. I just wasn't getting anything in. I wasn't eating. I was nauseous. I just didn't feel good. And it just makes a huge difference because, like, I couldn't stomach shit 2 days before, which is, like, prime carb day, like 2 days before, like, Wednesday, Thursday, you're trying to push as much as you can get in you so that way you can digest and fuel for Saturday. I mean, even on Friday night, so we have it for Sunday. But I just could not muscle anything down. And I was so exhausted. Like, I was so exhausted that I was nauseous and then I couldn't eat anything. I couldn't stomach shit for breakfast.
On race day?
It was just terrible. So everything that could have went wrong did, I pulled out on my ass, but.
You didn't eat anything on the course?
Nope. I didn't have shit. I ate 1 gummy. I ate 1 fucking gummy. And then I tried to have about, like, after the dunk wall, which was mile 5. I tried to muscle something else down and I could not do it. I had to spit it out. Like my body like would not let me swallow. Like I was just so exhausted. Like I couldn't even fucking chew this thing. And I just like spit it out.
You're probably exhausted from the fact that your nutrition was off all week. And also, I have a feeling that the cold, you don't do well in the cold.
Fuck no. Fuck, but none of us do, man. I mean, that shit was tough.
Yeah, but I mean, there are people that are more, I'd say, used to the cold or tend to like the cold more than the hot.
Yeah,
like totally. Extreme heat, I think you're better in than extreme cold.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, you have to just find a routine that works for you for cold races. So whether that means like you have, like, I don't know if it's just like you have to change the foods that you pack.
I don't know. It's almost
you have to try to maybe keep your foods more warm. I don't know if it's that you need to have some kind of like extra hand warmers with you and stop during the course and chill for a sec and then like have some nutrition on course, or if it's that you need to make sure you carb load the night before because you know that your nutrition is just going to be a little bit off on race day. Those are all things that you have to consider because it doesn't seem like it's any different from any other race. Like your nutrition's always fine other races. It was just this one, and the only difference was it was fucking cold as shit.
It was freezing, and the whole week the whole week prior I really didn't eat though. That's the only thing too, is like leading up to the race it wasn't really that great. You know, I kind of like fucked myself that way.
Yeah, but you know that. So learning for you is like, it doesn't matter if you're nauseous week prior to race, you got to eat.
Yeah, and I think too, like when, I don't know if this is with everybody maybe, but when I don't feel good and I'm nauseous and I know that I can't like muster anything down, I won't force myself to do it. And I need to get used to having it in some sort of liquid form. Like I need like protein shakes or doing some sort of a mix that I can use like a carb mix instead of just an electrolyte mix in my water. Like instead of like normally for a beast or a half marathon, I'll bring one electrolyte pack, and because I don't want to carry weight on me. So I'll bring one water full of electrolytes, like a Noon or a Liquid IV, and then I'll use the plain water on course because it just makes sense. But like in a time like that, or even the race that's coming up in Fayetteville, I think I need to pack carbohydrate mix and then an electrolyte mix and then use the water that's on course, because if I can't muster down like the goos and shit, I got to drink it, and I just have to force myself to do it. And that's one thing that I just have to learn how to do, because like I said, even the week prior that I wasn't eating, like I should have been drinking my calories and I didn't. I was just like, fuck it, I'm nauseous and I got to take a nap. I would like drink water and I would take a nap because I just felt like shit. Yeah. And I was just like trying my best to sleep, you know, because I don't sleep ever. So I'm like, all right, fuck it. Well, the next best thing is at least getting rest. So I'd like drink a fuck ton of water, try to take a crack nap, and it just did not work. But
so funny because I'm like, I wish I could fucking eat so bad right now.
I know,
but I'm like,
because you're like cutting mad weight.
I'm right on weight. Like I'm a little bit under, but I'm like on weight, and I'm counting on the fact that I gotta shit a bunch tomorrow morning to make sure I'm like really good on weight, because I also don't compete until 1, and I don't want to have nothing in my body before that. Yeah, I want to eat something before that. So
yeah, man, nutrition's hard. It's like a
making weight's tough, it's especially if you especially if you're in MMA and stuff, you'll weigh in night prior, and that's way easier than you think. Like when I weigh in, I don't even weigh in morning of, right? I weigh in like 15 minutes before I compete. No, like I get there and I can sit and I can check in, but I cannot go into the bullpen. Like I weigh in when I go into the bullpen. So when I'm like 20 minutes before, I literally slap hands with the chick. I weigh in.
That's funny, so I gain like 5 pounds in a day.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have like Liquid IV, a banana, so that when I weigh, they'll be like checking my gi, and I'll be like already eating and trying to get the Liquid IV down, so that I have something in my system. Yeah, so for your race, it's like you don't have to worry about weight. So making sure a couple days prior you have a shit ton of carbs in your body is gonna be pretty important, and then morning of. You know, I know you get nerves before, so you don't like eating too much before, but having something or something light, even if it's just like a honey stinger or like a Belvita, and then on course, making sure you have if not goos, at least liquids.
Yeah, like something that I could muster down.
But you've got to figure out also what liquids are going to work for you, because you don't want to be pooping mid-course.
Well, I know that's the thing.
It's gonna like go right.
And
through
I didn't, man.
ass.
I was so freaking cold. I was so cold. I didn't even think about that. And normally, like, it's on my mind. I'm like, shit. Like, normally I kind of have to like prepare that if I just so happen to need to go while I'm on course, I have a plan.
Right.
But this, I was like, fuck, man. I got to get the fuck off this course. It was literally one of those things where, like, I mean, damn, dude. Shout out to my people, because them flockers, they fucking killed it too. I mean, we didn't even talk to each other. Normally you get done and like it rolls around and it'll be like, Rich comes in and then I come in and then Alana, Savannah. And dude, we got done. Rich is standing there. Well, especially on Sunday because it was 10 degrees colder, and Rich finished after me. And Barry was scared too because I came through and Rich didn't come, and he was like, where the fuck's Rich? And I'm like, oh, he's out there somewhere. I don't know what the fuck happened to him. So anyway, I come through the finish. And then, like, Rich comes, Alana comes, Savannah comes, and we all just looked at each other. We didn't even give each other a high five. We didn't say anything. Our lips were sealed. We went, got our clothes. It took me 20 minutes to take my pants off because I couldn't even feel my fingers to take my clothes off. And we were just, like, standing there naked in the tent, just, like, looking at each other, not saying anything, just shivering so bad. And we were cold and wet. And then I think it took, like, an hour for us to literally say something. Like, I couldn't even tell them good job. Because I like couldn't think. And shout out to Mitzi too, because Mitzi was there all day on Saturday and she didn't race. And the whole time she was looking at us and she's like, how you feeling? And we like wouldn't talk to her. She's like, you have to talk to me. And I was like, I can't. She's like, you have to talk to me, because all of us would come out of this pit after going under the water and we can't like, you can't like comprehend what the fuck is going on.
Well, you're also just mentally so in a zone. Like you're trying to not break.
Yeah.
So when someone's like, are you all right? It's like
you're just
mentally you're like responding in your head. You're like, I'm fine. Like just let me be here right now.
Yeah.
That's how it is with when I go to spar. Like people are like, you feel good? And I'm just like, I can't even talk to you because I'm just so, like I'm just, when I'm on the line for track, like even back when I was running track, like when I would get on the line, it was just like,
yeah, like just don't like
space
out.
Run your, like my coach is talking to me and I'm just, all I can do is nod or shake my head. Like that's all I can't speak because I'm going so internal.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely, it was nutty. I mean, it was almost worse than the cold that was in Montana. Montana was hard because it was cold and the elevation gain got me, but this type of cold was wet. Fucking wet in your bones cold.
Oh, it was in your bones.
It was
for
nuts.
Sure. I mean, it was bad.
Poor Sarah, Sarah Hernandez? Yeah. From Get It Core. She gets done the super. She drove all the way up on Saturday night, ran the super and went home. And on Sunday, she gets done the race and she doesn't even get her t-shirt and her medal. She goes into the medic tent. Nothing's wrong with her. And she goes into the medic tent and her eyes are closed and she's looking at the dude and she's like, my hands. And they're like, what? She's like, you're going to have to amputate my fingers. I can't feel my fingers. They're like, what? She's like, I can't feel my hands. You need to do something. So they had a bunch of heaters. So they literally took off her gloves and just had her stand next to the heater. They couldn't do anything about it. Like, what are they going to do?
That's so
They were giving everybody those aluminum foil blankets.
Okay.
Whatever the hell they were called. Yeah, Rich had one of those.
Barely do shit.
Yeah. So it was a lot. But I mean, see, it's such a shame too, because the way that course is, it has everything. It's got like technical terrain. It's got the mud. It's got the hills. Yeah. It's a beautiful fucking course. I would have been rocking that shit if it was in the summer.
It was just cold as fuck.
I mean, like protests to make that race late spring, early summer, I'd be all over that.
Yeah.
It was awesome. It was a great fucking
course.
Great course, great obstacles, like super fun.
Don't want to do that.
Never want to do it again.
Yeah.
Like, me and Alana are laying in bed. We're literally laying in bed and we're like about to leave the next day. So this is like Sunday night. And we're just like talking about stuff. And Alana, and I didn't want to say anything, because like I'll say shit and then I'll do it anyway. Like never in my life would I say I would run a 50K, but I'm doing it in a month, right? So I didn't want to say anything because I'll probably end up doing it again. And Alana's like, yeah, so I think this is on the bottom of the barrel for me. I don't think I want to do this next year. And I was like, wow, thank God you said that because me either.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not coming back.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
It seemed horrendous. I mean, I was in 2 pairs of pants, 2 sweatshirts, socks, shoes, just going to training that morning. And I was like, fuck, it's cold. And so I can only imagine how you guys were. I was walking around before, and I just thought in my head, I was like, this is going to be a mental day for them, because like I was sitting there putting myself in y'all's shoes, being like, I'm on the line, I'm wearing like, you know, y'all's gear, I'm just thinking about how I'd feel. And I was like putting myself where you guys were, and I just thought, I don't know if I could. I'd have to go to a dark place.
Yeah, you do.
Because you just start asking, it's like, it's not even how bad it is, it's like you start being like, why the fuck am I even doing this? Like everything in your body's just like, just be done. Like get off the line, go eat a nice meal, like you know, put a jacket on, put some sweatpants on, call it quits. You don't need to, you have plenty of other races. Like those are the things that go in your head, you know, that tell you to be done. It's like, that's the shit you have to fight.
It is. It's like a back and forth of like, yeah, I really wanted to do this. Oh, I fucking suck. Oh my God, I'm definitely not prepared as I thought I was. I'm so out of shape. Wait, I actually feel okay. Oh, I want to fucking kill myself and never do this ever again. Yeah. It's like, why am I even here? What am I doing? I'm quitting the sport. Like, I'm so out of here.
Yeah.
And then like, the only thing that like I think about all the time is I end up spiraling into the whole, like, why am I doing this to myself? Like, I shouldn't be doing this anymore. You know, like I'm bad. I suck. Like, you know, and the only way that I like get myself out of it is like, I don't even think about that shit. I think about like being able to do it and just finish. And for some reason that'll always pull me out of where I'm at. Like, I just like, I don't know how to explain it. Like I just almost like shut everything out, and I'll just be like, instead of getting into the competition headspace about it and wondering why I feel so terrible, or like, where is the girl that I'm trying to chase and how far behind I am, like the whole competitiveness of it, I like shut it out and I think of like, it's beautiful. And like, I'm actually able to do this, right? And like, I can't walk because I have my legs. And if I walk, that would fucking suck, right? Like I'll catch my breath for a second, but I have my limbs and I'm grateful to be out here and my team is out here and like, I could do this.
You just
right? Like it's really not that
gratitude
bad.
For
like
for
I
yourself.
start to just be thankful for like little things instead of worrying about the competition. And if the competition's like not even there, I tend to do better. You know what I mean?
I wonder if that kind of thing would help me for. It's interesting when you're going like, when you're looking your competition in the face and you're fighting her.
Yeah.
It's a weird feeling.
Yeah, I bet. Because for you, it's like right there. And there's no
trying
space
to kill me.
to yourself. Yeah, and there's like no space to yourself. Where like for me, the girl's right in front of me. But I have the time to like think and be internal about it and then project it onto a race.
Yeah.
And for you, it's like, the person that you're trying to beat is literally staring at you in your eyes.
Trying to beat me as I'm trying to go internal. Yeah. She's like thinking about choking me out, you know?
Yeah, that's a little freaky.
So it is freaky, but it's just interesting because it's something it's something that I'm starting to practice, which is like, okay, instead of like when I would run track or I was racing or whatever, anything that I was trying to accomplish that was hard or that I was scared of, it was like, I can take that second and think to myself and get myself where I need to go. And with this, it's like, you got to do that before the match. And then the second you slap hands, like you have to intertwine yourself with her now. Like you have to almost be her, like, and she is you and you are her. And you're now like, you don't have time to sit there and be like, okay, chill, breathe, you know, because as you're like, if you're stuck in side control, let's say you're stuck in this bad position in jiu-jitsu, somebody's on top of you, right? You don't have time to sit and breathe and be like, let me take a second. You need to hike that bitch off of you because 1, if she doesn't hold it for long enough, she doesn't get the points.
Right.
And 2, if she holds it for long enough, she has time to strategize where she's going to go next, especially with lighter girls. They move quick. So like the second I have her bumped out of side control, she's going to start rolling to my back and maybe take my back. And then, you know, it's like, so I have to be thinking of like, immediately she's going for side control. I'm like fucking, I'm hip bumping her off of me. I'm trying to get my knee in. I'm shucking. I'm
you have to be like a step ahead.
Elbow in the fucking neck. Like get away from me. Like forearms in her neck. Like get off, because, and that's all you can think about. You can't take that second. So it'll be interesting with this tournament tomorrow to be like, how am I going to go internal before? Get the shit I need to in my head out.
Yeah.
Breathe. Go time.
Yeah, it's really interesting how people's headspace is too, because even like the time before you're rolling with her, it's like how you think about it. It's like, are you going to think about it as a competitor and get into that like killer mode that you get into where you just like see red and then you just kind of like shut everything out? Or do you get into the headspace where, like for me, like I said, I used to be that way, but now I just think about how grateful I am to be here, and like all of the training that I've done has already happened. There's not much more that I could do than perform, and so I'm just going to perform.
And you just perform, and you see it as the fight is more of a meditation of like she's reacting and I'm reacting, and she's and I'm going and she's responding, and so I think all I can do is trust that, because my system, like my body is decent under pressure. Like it knows what it needs to do in the moment. Yeah. And I have to trust that. And so I know that when I'll get there, I'll be freaked out before, and I'll even be freaked out probably like as I'm slapping hands with her and as I'm going and as I'm doing it. But I have to trust that my body will know what I need to be and where I need to be in that moment, which is like, I need to go hard right now. You know, I'm connecting with her right now. You know, like things like my body will know what to do. Yeah. And I think it's a little bit of both, because if you go so hard and you only see it as this is my mission and this is what I'm doing, then you don't have a chance to get an idea as to what she's trying to respond to.
Yeah, you get clouded.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have to sit there and be like, I have to go hard and do what I'm doing. But as she responds to what I'm doing, I have to have an answer for that. Mm-hmm. And that involves a level of connection and awareness and like meditative.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's kind of like the same thing I would say for me in terms of now that there's not burpees, you don't really know where people are on course. Like, for example, it's weird that last year, every race that I did, let's say I got an obstacle and somebody was doing burpees. Mm-hmm. You knew that you had a 2-minute split. Average, right? Because it takes somebody the average like 2 minutes or so, 2 to 3 minutes to do their burpees, right? But now, like, I'll be running and the girl that I had passed that I didn't realize was on the penalty loop somehow ends up behind me. But you don't know that because the penalty loop is like in the woods or it's like somewhere that you can't see. And and you do that because you know that you're close to them. So like on Saturday, I passed one of the girls because I did the Olympus. She ended up behind me. We got to one of the carries and I just so happened to turn the corner and be like, how the fuck did she get behind me?
Right.
And I'm like, holy shit. And like, if I wasn't thinking about like the reactions to her now being behind me or like it would just cloud your judgment because you would just be seeing red and just like going out there. But now that I changed the headspace that I'm in to kind of be grateful of being out there, I can see that and then be able to respond to it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. In a way that makes sense rather than me just trying to haul ass and, you know, overcompensating and breaking wind or anything like that. Like now I can actually just perform. Yeah. Which I definitely, you know, didn't do on Saturday, but I did on Sunday. So,
well, either way, I'm proud of you.
Second place on both days.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. It was good.
What's the next race?
Go fucking kill it tomorrow. Next race is Palm Beach.
Okay.
Fast race.
April 22nd.
Yeah, it's fast as fuck.
I have my new breed tournament that day.
Mm-hmm. I'll be down there with my mom, though, so I'm going to run in the morning, and then I'm going to run it with her in the afternoon. It's only one day, so it'll be a super fast, short race. And then right after that is Fayetteville, 50K. So I really, the Palm Beach race, I'm kind of like not worried about actually training for. It's just going to come in time with the stuff that I'm going to have to do for Fayetteville. I'm just going to have to roll right into doing Fayetteville shit and just let Palm Beach take its course, which I think will be fine because I'm a good fast-paced runner.
Yeah, man.
Palm Beach is fun as shit.
Yeah,
it's fun, so much fun.
Course, yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun, fast, flat, dry, hot course. So I'm just not even prepping technically for that. I'll just be prepping for Fayetteville and then Utah. So,
all right. Well, I'm gonna go drive to Kissimmee now.
Yeah, she's gonna go fucking kill it. Good luck, man.
I'm gonna try.
She's gonna go hop in the car, drive for 5 hours, see red a little bit, meditate, and fucking kill it.
Yeah, we'll find out the verdict. Y'all will find out the verdict next week.
Yeah, and we'll have a recap on Abigail next week.
Woohoo! All right, bye, BarTalk listeners.
Bye, y'all.
Oh my
my god, what are we doing?